it's me again, Sonja from The Art of Stamping. Glad you're watching. Last week I did a product comparison I'd like to share with you today. As a kind of side effect, you'll also see how I clean my Copics, so that in the end the marker you see on the left will look like the one on the right. Been inspired to this comparison by a discussion in a Facebook group. Julia from JustOneMoreCard.com asked for a German product corresponding to the English rubbing alcohol that shall help you to clean your Copics and can supposedly be used for different techniques. I said rubbing alcohol most probably corresponds to Isopropanol or isopropyl alcohol, adding however that I usually use colorless blender for these purposes, as it has been especially designed for that. Colorless blender, by the way, is in Germany sold under the name of Copic Cleaner. Here you see all the things I used for my comparison, which are also the tools I used to clean my Copics. Let's start with some facts. According to my research, in the US, a large bottle of colorless blender contains 200 milliliters or 7 ounces of liquid and costs about $10 to $15. The obvious advantage of this cleaning solution compared to the alcohol is that you can use it to refill your blender pens, which I wouldn't do with plain alcohol. Isopropanol, which is also known as isopropyl alcohol and the most common component of rubbing alcohol, is usually used as disinfectant and cleaner. In the US, it seems to be readily available in drugstores or online for about $6 to $9 per liter or 32 ounces, which is much cheaper than the Copic Colorless blender, so that it would be quite a bargain if you could use it for cleaning and techniques. Now, some of you might ask themselves, why should I bother to clean my Copics in the first place? Surely no one is interested in the look of my tools. That is of course true. To answer this question, I'd like you to once again take a look at the image I showed at the beginning of this video. Because here you can see that while working with Copics, color residues are very likely to get stuck to the rim of the cap and the area where the cap and the marker meet when sealed. If a lot of residue has built up there, the marker most likely doesn't seal well anymore and will dry out with time. To avoid this, it is surely a good idea to clean your markers regularly. So let's get started. I've chosen 2 dark hues for this test, as the color residues are easily visible here. I'm going to clean the traditional marker, which by the way I have equipped with brush tip, with the alcohol, and the sketch marker with colorless blender. Both markers are visibly dirty around the brush nib end. They might not really need an urgent cleanup, but it surely isn't wrong to clean them now. Before cleaning, I start gathering my tools. These are the cleaning solutions, a few Q-tips and some paper towels. What's important is that you work in a well-ventilated area to prevent getting dopey by all the fumes that evaporate from the alcohol and the colorless blender. Whoever is able to do so should therefore best clean their markers outdoors. I start by dipping the Q-tip into the cleaning solution. In this case, it's the colorless blender. After that, I first go to clean the cap. I especially rub off the residues near the rim of the cap to make sure that the marker is going to seal well again after cleaning. Once I've dissolved all the dried up paint, I remove all liquid from the cap with a paper towel. After that, I start cleaning the area around the marker nib, taking care not to touch the nib itself while doing so. Mostly I'm only using a Q-tip on that part of the marker as well. You can, however, also use a cotton pad for this purpose, as I did here while cleaning another marker. As you can see here, the colorless blender does a great job when cleaning Copics. So what about the alcohol? Let's test it out. Again, I follow all the steps mentioned before. First, I clean the marker cap, then the area around the brush nib. As you can start to see here, the alcohol's doing a brilliant job as well. I can wipe off the residue paint without any effort. I'm not particularly bothered by the leftover color further down the nib. It doesn't make the marker dry out and could have been removed as well had I invested some more time in the cleaning. So we can well substitute rubbing alcohol for the colorless blender when cleaning Copics. Julia, however, had another question. Can you also substitute the alcohol for the colorless blender when applying techniques? Of course, I've done a test on that too. I've laid down a solid color swatch onto Copic-friendly paper, it's perfect coloring paper to be precise, and pressed a terry cloth soaked once with blending solution, once with alcohol onto it. Both times, this resulted in a similar dot pattern. After that, I also dipped the end of a Q-tip soaked once with colorless blender, once with alcohol onto the color field. This too leading to similar results with both liquids. All in all, rubbing alcohol seems to be a good substitute for the colorless blender. If you can get it for a better price than the blending solution, it is sure worth the investment. That's the end of today's video. Hope my comparison was helpful for you. Thanks for watching. I'd be glad to see you again next time. Until then, happy crafting! Bye!